easing from the dreadful drama of modern life is to do what Raphael Kernan does, flies small aircraft. And you do it out of Tandragee. It's Kernan Aviation of Tandragee.
That's right, yeah.
It's a huge experience. I had the joy of flying with you, and it was great fun, and the most wonderful small aircraft in the world. And they always, what I thought about your aircraft, there's a perfection, a technical and mechanical perfection to them. These things were built to fly.
Yes, they're definitely built to fly, there's no doubt about it, and they fly a lot better than, in some cases, the guys that are flying them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you leave them alone, they generally fly really, really well.
Yeah. Where did the whole flying idea at Tandragee come from?
Well, I was always interested in aviation, even from a child. You know, I built the Airfix models and that type of stuff. And then in probably 1979 or so, I bought a radio-controlled model aircraft. And then I'd done that for about 3 or 4 years, and then I got involved then with microlights. I bought a microlight, and it really did. Like, it really hasn't stopped from there.
From there. And you were born, it was made to fly. You were born to fly, it seems. Yeah.
At the end of the day, I've seen that I've gone basically from a farming background to a flying background, so it's absolutely magic.
My goodness. Yeah. And at the very beginning, did the people of Tandragee think you were quite mad?
They probably did, yeah, but they didn't say it out loud, but they probably did thought I was a wee bit, eccentric, actually flying about. Yeah.
You have some images for us, haven't you?
We have indeed.
Sean, will we look at some of the images, and you can tell me what these are. That's your clubhouse, yeah?
Yes, that's the clubhouse, and that's the 3 aircraft, the school aircraft that we now use. It actually was snowing on that, when the photograph was taken.
It's compact, and that's the place we went to fly with you.
Yes.
And I remember we filmed from one of your aircraft.
We did, yes, that's right, yeah.
It was. Look at that, isn't that very clever? Isn't that lovely? That's the shadow of this aircraft here, yeah?
Yes, it's a shadow of the aircraft in the sunset, yeah.
My goodness. There's one of your pilots.
That's one of our instructors, actually, and that's his own aircraft now. Yeah. And that aircraft, actually, 1947, is an old aircraft.
What would an aircraft like that cost? Roughly, ballpark?
You're probably 15,000 to 18,000 pounds or so.
Well, it's kind of doable, isn't it?
At the end of the day, it's workable, you know.
Yeah, and, you can do things.
This is an ex-student here. He went and took sort of a friend up for a flight one day.
Yeah.
And that's one of the guys just landing just after being solo.
That was his first day going solo?
No, it wasn't his first day.
Yeah,
but still, like, it's on his way back in.
It's a nice aerial. Look at that.
Yeah, well, that's a photograph now of the strip as it is at the moment.
Yeah.
And we operate obviously from about 350 metres there.
Now, isn't that interesting there?
Yeah, we did.
You landed in a field in Armagh.
We did, yeah. We did some flying for the council in Armagh at that stage, and we landed in a field just outside the cathedral there, just not that far from the cathedral, as you can see.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's just
an aerial.
That's just looking down at it from a little higher.
Hey, you've done some good things.
Yeah, well,
we raised hospice.
Yes, we raised a few pounds.
That's your dear wife, is it?
Pardon?
Is that your lady?
Oh, no, well, it's the girl from the hospice.
Yeah, from the hospice taking the check. Yeah.
And that there is a friend of my daughter's, but I had up for a flight, come down one day, took her for a flight.
She seems a happy girl.
Oh, she was elated when she come back from the flight. She was on top of the world, yeah, absolutely magic. Out
over the Irish Sea.
Yeah, but no, that's just out, basically not that far from Cranfield there. We took that just as the sea truck was going out.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. And
you had a visitation. That's the Tato man's helicopter.
No, it's actually not. No, there was a few people actually flew in from Leeds, and they were on a bit of business, so they landed just in our strip, and then got a taxi to their business, and then took off again.
That's the way to do business.
Oh, without a doubt, it's the way to travel. Expensive way to travel, but it's the way to travel.
And this is an interesting photograph because the plane underneath, the pilot underneath, was shooting up to your plane, or maybe you were on the ground as he was taking off. What
it was on the ground actually, and he was doing a low pass just over the airfield. So
it looks as though you're in mid-air. That's very impressive. Look at that. The fleet.
That's the fleet. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the fleet that we have to teach on. Yeah, and it's a fabulous aircraft. You know. So.
That's it. My experience. I'll slide back in. Let me do it for you. My experience of flying with you was great fun because you took me up and the thing just hopped off the ground and wanted into the air. But the lad I was flying with, he took her very, very low, and we followed the course of the River Bann.
Yes, yes.
And that was an interesting experience, because when you're low, the sensation of speed is accentuated.
You do get the sensation of speed, and you get the sensation of movement on the ground
That's
as well.
right. That's right.
Like when you're up at 1,000 feet or above, like, I mean, it all at the end of it becomes quite stable, and you don't really see the speed that you're going at.
Yeah.
You don't feel it.
A couple of years ago, you did the enormous kindness to my boy of India, little Tony.
That's right.
Yeah. That was a great time.
Yeah, well,
Tony came over. We have him in education now in the southeast of England. This is little Tony. He's seriously challenged physically. He's got one tiny little wobbly leg. He's got a tiny arm, a right arm. He has no left arm. He's a hugely intelligent boy, and I went to India to kind of rescue him almost. He had no documentation, and we got that sorted out, and eventually he got a study visa to go to the south of England to King's School, and that's where he is today. But you took him up on the plane, you flew him.
he loved it. He just loved the whole experience, and would just love to be flying himself if he could. You know, and it would be nice to see a situation where he could fly at some point. You know,
at some point.
But he just loved it. He talked the whole way around the mornings. He never kept quiet. You know what he's like.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely fabulous. You know.
Yeah. That was a huge experience, a hugely decent thing you did for us.
It was no issue for us. It was good to do it for him, because like when you see somebody that's that interested in flying and who got a buzz out of it,
Yeah.
At the end of it, feeds back to you and ourselves. You know.
Yeah, it does no harm at all. So, Pete, these things are expensive. To run them's expensive. To run the club is expensive. You kind of defer costs by having lessons. People can come and buy lessons off you.
They can come and they can get you can get the lessons, and it's actually the cheapest way into flying, really, at the end of the day. You know, and flying in general with us now has come affordable to the average.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, it's more affordable in general. And
What if someone wants to come to fly with you? They bring you how much money in order to get an hour up in the air?
yeah, well, it's normally £110 per flying hour.
Per flying hour.
You know,
yeah.
but a normal lesson would probably take 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah, you know, because we have to do a briefing before we go up. We do the flight and then a debriefing when we get back on the ground.
Yeah.
So it's normally a 2 hour.
And that's you kicked off on the thing.
Yeah, that'll be kicked off. And the average hours that a normal pilot would require will be like anywhere between 35 and 45 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have the ground exams to do, which are 5 exams as well.
So you were saying really you could become a pilot of a small craft like this for under £5,000?
Oh, you can do, yeah.
That's
You
amazing.
can do, and you can normally do it within a year.
Yeah.
Now, we have a lot of students who would be coming from the south of Ireland, maybe coming from Limerick and places like that. You know, and they would come up and stay for maybe a week or a couple of weeks and do it on a shorter time frame, you know.
Okay, and also it's a great thing for Christmas presents for people.
Oh, without a doubt.
And gifts for anniversary gifts and things like that.
But actually, like if you get up, when you get up in an airplane, it's a form of therapy as well.
Oh yeah.
Because you get away from your normal life, your normal sort of. You take the stresses in a normal day, you can get up and get flying, and it really is fantastic.
How do people, I know how to find you. It's the easiest thing in the world, because I was trying to remember you yesterday, and I just put in flying Tandragee, and up you come. I got the website.
Yes. There's normally, if you Google us, if you Google flying, you'll get us on the website. And
so that's the easy way to do it. Or Raphael Kernan Aviation,
That's it.
Kernan, Kernan Aviation.
Yes.
That's there for you. But certainly flying Tandragee will get you through to Raphael's operation.
Problem. Yeah.
He's a good man, he's a kind man, and he's a man who will bring you through the door of excitement and maybe change your life forever. Raphael, thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much.
God bless you. Go
Thank you
well.
again.
Take care.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.
And Sean, we'll have some music to take us towards the end of the program. Thank you. That's great.